So anyone that knows me well knows I'm a big fan of habits. I have been taking cold showers for a while, been writing pretty consistently, written in my journal really consistently for the last 2 years. And one book that's helped me a lot with getting those habits in check is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I have it right here. We're going to be going through the three biggest ideas I got from the book. As always, if the podcast is helpful for you building your self care and just overall relationship with yourself and whatever that leads to, building a business, helping other people. Yeah, if you're about that life, like I am, yeah, just follow the podcast. And I really apologize because this is supposed to be out earlier, and I even said I was gonna get all of the podcast episodes out before the end of the beginning of the semester. That didn't happen, so we're learning so we can get that ball like on the like in the hole, like hole in one as quickly as possible. So it's kind of like we were going for a hole in one and we're going to get a par instead, which is okay. We just got to learn from it. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about the idea of voting for your best self, stored energy, and tribal habits. So let's start. Let's just jump right into it. So, page 39 of the book, James Clear talks about this concept of how it's really about how many votes you make towards your desired self. And this is something I definitely like try to keep in mind. Like today I went on a run and I haven't ran in a while, but every single time you go on a run, you're a runner. Every single time you write, you're a writer. And James Clear talks about how this is like a vote for your best self. And in a election, it is the person that has the majority of the votes that wins, and they don't have to win every single time. You know, you'll have off days, you'll have times where you mess up on that homework assignment or you don't do great on a test. It's all about the votes you put towards your best self. Here's what James Clear says. In any election, there are going to be votes for both sides. You don't need a unanimous vote to win an election, you just need a majority. Doesn't matter if you cast a few votes for a bad behavior or an unproductive habit, your goal is simply to win the majority of the time. New identities require new evidence. If you keep casting the same votes you've always cast, you're going to get the same results you've always had. If nothing changes, nothing is going to change. And it says it's a simple two-step process. Decide the type of person you want to be and prove it to yourself with small wins. So that's something I've really focused on, like 100%, since I read this book back in like 2018, 2019. Definitely has changed my life in a lot of ways, and I recently refinished it for like the third time, so definitely a really good book. Number two is stored energy. So 21, page 21, basically talks about how like all of the action, all of the habits, all of the power you've put in, all of the energy you've exerted from doing your habit up to this point, it's not being wasted, it's being stored, meaning it's going to be unleashed in time. There's like this move in Pokemon, and it takes a couple turns. It's called Biden. It actually really stinks as a move, but it takes like 3 turns to go, and then you finally unleash it. And that's how a lot of habits are. They take time to unleash, and before the fruits become self evident, it takes time. Here's what James Clear says. If you find yourself struggling to build a good habit or break a bad one, it is not because you've lost your ability to improve. It is often because you've not yet crossed the plateau of latent potential. Complaining about not achieving success despite working hard is like complaining about an ice cube not melting when you heated it from 25 to 31 degrees. Your work was not wasted, it is being stored. All the action. Echo. Stop. Your work was not wasted, it is just being stored. All the action happens at 32 degrees. I love this thought. It's like if I am struggling really much, a lot, it's like if I'm struggling with learning a concept in a class or something, and I keep learning and I keep trying and I'm doing what I can to like learn it a pretty effective way that works well for me, eventually it's going to go through, and I'm going to slowly change like my makeup for how I see that concept. It's going to be a lot more solidified. So that's really encouraging for me. The third one is the tribal habit. I was The third thing is the tribal habit. Yeah, so I really love that idea, and definitely one that I live by is just knowing that eventually it's going to pay off. What you've put in is eventually going to become very clear to people, including yourself. Number three is the tribal. Number 3 is the thought of tribal habits. So I tried to find that in the book really quickly. Couldn't find it. So, but this is something that I definitely did in high school without realizing it. James Clear talks about how you need to be in a group where your desired habit is that like group's like main thing. Like what do? Like if they're all cooks or they're all YouTubers, that means that is their identity. And if you spend time around those people where you're literally in the club because you make YouTube videos, you're going to make YouTube videos. If and that goes for like gaming clubs or chess clubs or anything like that, to stay in the club, you have to do the thing or else you can't really be in the club. And so if you join a club or something or a team or where the desired habit is the normal behavior, you're going to get pretty used to it. And that's something I've definitely seen with like podcasting, especially running. Oh, I was so bad at running when I was younger, but I kept working at it and met some really awesome people. And that, they've been running for a while. And they helped me make it more a part of my day and definitely changed my life in a lot of ways. So those are the 3 big takeaways I got from James Clear's book, Atomic Habits. Really recommend you pick it up. I got it pretty early on. Found it from like a Facebook ad or something like that. I was like, it's $12. It's way, way, way worth it. Definitely worth it. Yeah. I'm still not posting on social media. I'm probably gonna make one quick post once I get my blog and stuff officially up. I just put a lot of like labor and stuff. I put a lot of weight on myself. Like I'm gonna get all this done. And I didn't really prepare myself super well to get all that done. So we're learning, we're growing, we're going to get there, we're learning. I hope that like your semester is going okay, the episodes are helpful for you, and that this episode was helpful for you of getting a little bit of perspective for the journey yet ahead. Building habits really does change how you see yourself 100%. And even if you drop the ball, you can always make some more votes for yourself and help yourself out. With that all said, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to yield today, and it'll be better tomorrow. All right, so that wasn't perfect. I don't know. How fast can we edit this? So we have like 12 minutes.